Hey yogis, welcome back to How Yoga Changed My Life, a podcast. This is Mia. For today's follow-up episode, I have for you a journaling practice. If you did not get a chance to listen to Justine's episode, I highly recommend it. After her episode, Adrienne and I discussed Justine's ability to recognize greatness within herself, to recognize divinity within herself. And we spoke about Sutra 1.3. We also spoke about how it can be really hard to recognize that greatness, that something special, that something bigger in us, and we often need reminders of it. So for today's episode, we have a journaling practice of self-realization, of identifying what labels or terms actually resonate with us and resonate with that divine sense within ourselves. To get started, take a moment to set your environment. If you're sitting at a desk, maybe you tidy it. Sometimes that helps you focus a little bit more. Perhaps you light a candle for yourself, just kind of setting the tone. Just set your environment one that's calm, it's welcoming, it's inviting, somewhere you're comfortable. You're going to need a journal or multiple pages to write on, and obviously something to write with. You're welcome to pause and set the scene for yourself. And when you're ready, press play. Just to settle into our time and space together, take a few rounds of breath. Full, deep breath in, expanding into your belly, your lungs, your chest. Hold at the top of your inhale for just a moment. And then slowly release your breath, taking your time, there's no rush. Take a few rounds of breath just like that. Full, deep breaths in. A pause at the top of your inhale. And then slow, deep breath out. Continue your own pace. Consciously making your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. As you're slowing down your breathing, feel your body also beginning to slow down. You're settling into your space, into this practice, into the present moment. If at any point you need to pause because you're still writing, you're welcome to, and then just press play as you're ready. Begin by making a list. Consider what words, terms, or labels do others use to describe you. This can be a continuous list. As other ideas pop into your mind, you can add it. Consider next, what words, terms, or labels do your friends use to describe you? What about your family? Add those words, terms, labels to your list. And then finally, yourself. How do you describe yourself? What words, terms, labels do you use when introducing yourself to others? Again, this list can be free-flowing. You can add and adjust as you go. But take a moment to read your list. These labels have come from multiple places, multiple sources. And now we'll begin to dive into them. First, cross out any word that doesn't resonate with you. Words that you feel don't reflect you. Look at these crossed out words. Take a moment to be honest with yourself. You're the only one that can see this list. Did you cross out any of these words from a place of ego? Because they hurt your feelings, Did you cross any out from a place of not wanting them to reflect you? You can keep them crossed out, but circle any where that may be the case. The case of crossing them out from ego or from not wanting these labels. Here might be a great place to pause. Looking at these circled words, journal about them. What made you cross them out? What hurt about these words? What truth, if any, is there in these words? Press play once you're ready. Now that we've removed some words, explored a deeper meaning and understanding of others, take a moment. Are there any words you'd like to add to your list, things that cropped up as you were writing? Looking at what remains of your list, put a dash next to words that make you feel good about yourself. Now looking at these dashed words, were any of these words ego-driven? Bolstering your ego in a way that inflates it, that makes you feel superior to others. Again, this is a time to be honest with yourself. No one else can see your list. Pause and journal about these words. How do they make you feel, and how come? Press play once you're ready. Consider extending the dash to cross out the words that inflated your ego to a place of superiority. Did journaling bring any words to mind you'd like to add to your list? Look at your list, at what remains, and finally cross out any words that are not intrinsic to you. Any words, labels, or terms that are temporary, like yogi, dog mom, hiker. Words, terms, or labels that can change. Cross these out. Looking at what remains, what resonates with you? What stands out? What do these remaining words speak to? Pause and journal about it. Press play when you're ready. We're done with our list. You can close your journal or push your paper to the side. Take a moment to sit up tall. Maybe you blink your eyes closed, bring your attention inward. Take a deep breath in, fill up. Slowly let that breath go. Take a moment to reflect on this journaling practice. What did it feel like to have to write these labels, words, terms out about yourself, and then cross them out, inspect them further, dig deeper? Were there parts of this practice that you enjoyed? Or on the inverse, were there parts of this practice that frustrated you? Maybe reflect on why. When we consider our true nature, can be a really hard thing to pinpoint. Can't happen in a 10, 15-minute journaling practice. But it happens within this self-work of reflection, digging deeper, of sitting with yourself, of noticing what it feels like to do this work. and also an unwavering understanding that no matter what remains on that page, it rests within yourself, which intrinsically rests within divinity. These parts of us that make us up also make up the universe. They make up this world that we live in and that we take part of, this greater community. They're necessary, they're needed. And at some point, we have to be willing to accept that, whether we believe it or not. Because there will be days where it's hard to believe, it's hard to accept, but valuing those parts of ourselves that are intrinsically there, whether we try to cross them out or not. Let's close out with 3 deep breaths in. And out. Take 2 more on your own. Thank you, yogis. Thank you for showing up and taking part in this practice. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, send it to someone else who might benefit from it. Leave us a review, sharing your thoughts, or maybe just shoot us a message on Instagram. We'd love to see how this practice turned out for you. Bye, yogis.